You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports and movies with good vibes. On today's podcast, I have my buddy D Hodge to come in and talk about the Clippers and Nuggets game. Let's get it. I couldn't do this podcast without my amazing equipment, so I'd like to give a shout out to Røde for the Røde Pod Mic USB, as well as Insta360 for the webcam link that I'm using, as well as Nanlite for all of the studio lighting that I have here. All right. Hey, D Hodge, how's it going? Congratulations on your win.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Before we talk about the game, just wanted the audience to get to know you a little bit. So tell us how you became a Clippers fan.
Okay, so it's a pretty cool story. So I'm originally from the Bay Area. Lived in Sacramento, grew up in Sacramento, moved up and down from Oakland and Fairfield, Vacaville. And then I moved to Southern California to this place called Lancaster. And then Lancaster's in Southern California, and it's the closest. It's on the outskirts of LA, but everybody's a Laker fan in the city that I come from. All my boys are Laker fans. My mom was before she moved to Texas, she was a Laker fan. My stepdad is a Laker fan. So I grew up around nothing but Laker fans. So for me, I like to go the opposite way. And I noticed that the Clippers were how can I say this? They were garbage, terrible. A bad franchise, a bad team, a bad organization. But, for me, I saw something in them. I saw something in them that they can only go up from here. They can only go up from here. So I became a fan, and what also helped is that my mom had season tickets for the Clippers because they were so bad that the tickets were so cheap, dirt cheap. So you can go to any game and get some good seats for like $25 and sit pretty good and watch some pretty good games. So what we would do is we got season tickets for the Clippers, but we got on the bench side. So we got to see all the bench players and all the opposing players come to the game. So I got to see players like Shaq. I was at the Shaq 62 when he dropped 62 on the Clippers. I was at that game on his birthday. I was at the game when the Clippers jersey. I was able to get on the Titantron, and I wish I got somebody to film that so you can cut to that. And me as a kid doing the bounce to the Clipper game, during the Clippers game. But yeah, man, it's a whole circle of terrible plays. They let me down over the years.
That's kind of like the common thread for a lot of Clippers fans. I mean, as a Nuggets fan, I feel a lot of your pain. It's only more recently that we've started to feel a little bit more of the winning, but I get it. And I think that's why, as Nuggets fans, we relate so much to the Clippers fans. And I don't know about any of the other Nuggets fans and Clippers fans other than just you and me, but there's no resentment from me to the Clippers. Like I actually, like I've told you before, Clippers are definitely one of my go-to when they're not facing the Nuggets.
Respect, man. Yeah, we're one and the same. We have a common agreement of being trash and then sort of kind of being okay, but now you guys kind of lap the field with getting y'all superstar in Jokić, and oh man, he's a monster. I thought we were gonna have that with Blake Griffin. I thought Blake Griffin was right. Jokić. And getting CP3, I thought we were putting the pieces together to get on y'all trajectory, and you
guys should have had a chip at least 2 by now.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So many letdowns over the years. This team has punctured my back so many years with disappointment, but. Congratulations to the Nuggets. Y'all got your franchise. Y'all built around them, and y'all.
Well, now the pressure is on to maintain like a dynasty. They're all talking about the dynasty. Whenever you win one, they're like, oh, can this team go on to make another championship? Right. And we failed to do that last season. So hopefully, moving forward, maybe this is our season for chip number 2. But we'll see. And especially the last 2 games didn't really show very much yet. So, but
yeah, I mean, so go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, so why Clippers and not Lakers?
Well, like I said, all my boys were Laker fans, and everybody who I pretty much my immediate circle were Laker fans, and they. One thing I noticed about Laker fans is they like to talk, and for good reason because they win. When you win, you get to talk, but. For me, after a while, I just get tired of hearing this. blah, 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 Lakers, banners,
It's
and all
agonizing.
that. All right, I get it. I understand y'all a winning franchise. I get it. But for me, I would rather just root for the underdog. And I've always seen, because I grew up as an underdog. Any career that I tried to undertake, I'm always an underdog going into that. So I kind of related to the Clippers as a franchise, being the underdog of the little brother of the Lakers in a sense. But I started to love their trajectory over the years. But we still got some more work to do, unfortunately, because the Clipper curse, it's looking real out here, but I'm still a fan.
Well, if there's any sign or hope, there was the curse on the Cubs, and then they won eventually. So eventually it's going to come.
There's always hope. There's always hope. Go up from here.
Yeah. And I'm right with you on the growing up as an underdog and now rooting for the underdogs, like right with you. And a lot of those, like the Lakers and Celtics fans, can be so agonizing with their just rubbing it in and thinking that they're the only two teams in the league. Is like there are 38 teams total, give some respect. Let's see here. So talking about the NBA, what do you think of how the game has evolved to today versus how it was, when you and I were growing up?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, first off, I think it's more physical. Well, no, less physical. It's less physical now than it was when we first started watching basketball. Because I'm used to watching. I grew up watching Shaq. I grew up watching MJ, Kobe before his ascension, baby Kobe before his ascension to what we know as Kobe Bryant now. But when I started watching, the game was physical. You go in the lane, you're getting touched somehow by somebody. Either it's a hardcore foul or it's a don't come in this lane again, or think twice before you come in this lane. But nowadays it's more jump shooting, and you can thank Steph Curry for that. you can thank Steph Curry 100%. For that. You can thank James Harden for that. It's just it's a finesse perimeter game now, as opposed to being the big man game with Shaq and David Robinson and Hakeem Olajuwon and Mutombo. Rest in peace. Mm-hmm. Those are those big men. Though they're obsolete in this game because it's a shooter's game. Unfortunately, it's an offensive game, offensive style game, guard oriented game where everybody's jacking it up, jacking threes up, trying to light the scoreboard on fire, and that can only go so much. I mean, you have to have some sort of defensive minded interior in order to compete when it comes to playoff time. Because you're going to need those defensive, grinded out type of games. Because the shooting is going to go away. Teams are going to lock down on the shooters, unless you're gifted like Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Then you're going to have an issue with being consistent with winning that way.
100%.
Into the old school game.
I mean, do you remember in the 90s growing up and everything, like the game almost was borderline hockey. Like people would be fighting and brawling, and it only came until like deep into the brawl would they finally call a foul. But now it's like a little finger touch and it's like, okay, foul.
Yeah, it's crazy. You cannot get touched in this game without it being called a foul. Like back in the 90s and the late 80s, early 90s, they were late. Cats were getting laid out and barely getting caught a foul for that.
Yeah.
Back then.
Straight up.
Yeah, the game has changed drastically from then to now. But
do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it could be a little bit of both. I think it can be good because, like I said, you got players like Steph Curry who are like average every day. Not everybody has a jump shot like Steph Curry, but Steph Curry relates to the average person. So like people can root for him because they're like the average. He's 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". That's the average human being. So he's very relatable to people. So in a sense, that's a good thing. But in a sense, it could be a bad thing because that could spoil the incoming generation of talent coming in. Because since we're so accustomed to now this drastically changed game of being a finesse game, being shooters, people are going to fall in love with the three-pointer. And like I said, that can only go so long when it comes to the play. There's only one Steph Curry. There's only one generational shooter in Steph Curry. And Klay Thompson is close, but you only get those types of players every so often. So other teams have to rely on their skill, defensive minded. They have to rely on the bigs to block shots. It's teamwork. You have to rely on that, and then that can be a detriment to the game if everybody just relies on jump shots every time they go down the court.
Yeah, I feel like players like SGA and Embiid rely on going to the foul line. Even a little bit of James Harden too. Like they rely so much on the foul line that they don't really focus so much on the other aspects of the game. It's just like that's what makes their game, and then people call them great. And I mean, it's up for debate, but like I feel like someone like a Jokic or a Steph Curry who involves the entire team, keeps the ball moving around, finds the open man, like that's a much better player in my eyes than someone who just goes straight to the foul line.
Right. And Jokic brings an overall balance of in his attack. Like he can shoot, he can pass, he can rebound, he can slightly defend. He's getting better as a defender. Over time, he's getting better as a defender. I'll give him that. He was scaring me when he first came into the league because he was getting abused. He was getting abused on defense. But now
a little bit like Luka. Luka doesn't really defend very well, but he does the same thing.
Yeah, he's a cone. He's just dribbling right by him easily. Scoring on him. Now, I can see Jokic starting to get better, moving his feet, getting better in better position to take charges. The little things that are needed to win a basketball game. For
sure. So then, as the game has evolved, now last season they introduced this in-season tournament, and then they're coming back for the second version of it this year. What is your idea of the in-season tournament? Because I personally, I don't like it. To me, it makes it feel like it's too much WWE, like multiple titles now and everything. Like you already had one title and you are get paid so much. Like that should already be your incentive to play well. Like I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Right. Well, first, I love the WWE, so I'll start. I'm a big avid wrestling guy. I've been following wrestling since I was a kid. So in that aspect, I get it.
Well, and there's no hate when I say that about WWE. Like that's WWE's thing.
Yeah.
NBA has its championship, and it's like one thing.
Yeah. I think it's a money grab. And my first thought was like a money grab. It's another way to make the regular season, because the regular season draws out 82 games. That shit, it can get boring after a while. I think what Adam Silver did, he's trying to add a little spice to the regular season to try to get more viewers to tune in, to make sure it's fun as we're still watching the grueling season unfold for a basketball season. So I think it's a money grab one, and I think it's another way to get the fans in tune, to keep their antennas locked in on the product, which is the NBA. For sure.
So would you say that you're for it, or you're kind of like it is what it is?
I mean, it is what it is. For me, it's more basketball. I love basketball, so if it can bring more competitiveness to the players, then yeah, I'm all for it. I didn't get it at first, and I'm still kind of getting the aspect of what the hell it is and why it's here. But if it brings more competitive competition, brother, I'm all for it. Bring on the competition. Let's go. Let's bring it on. More the merrier.
The way I see, like, if you want to introduce it, what I would think it would be actually a better route is if you had an award to give to the one seed at the end of regular season. Then, like, you have something like
you incentivize in the playoffs
for the ones exactly, because so many of these one seeds, they don't get anything. Sometimes they can get knocked out of the playoffs and everything, and there's nothing to show for them being the one seed. And there's always this debate over whether or not they deserved something or whatever, like the MVP or the home court or whatever it is, and or all NBA and all that. Like, there's nothing to show for the first seed. So, like, if you were to give an award for that, then there's already incentive there. And then if you also give an award for preseason, because they give an award for summer league, why not give an award for preseason and then for the regular season? Like, just that's your path.
True. No, yeah, I like that idea. That's a good idea to incentivize the winner. I mean, that's what we play for, right? Like, I think baseball used to have it to where they incentivized in the All-Star game. They would incentivize the winning conference of that All-Star game. So in the playoffs, so whoever won that would get home field advantage in the World Series. I don't know if they still do that now, but I know they incentivize. They incentivize. The MLB would incentivize winning, and I think if the NBA took on that same type of thing, I think they can make that work, incentivizing the winner of the NBA Cup. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. So how are you feeling about your Clippers?
You want the honest to God truth? Or
yep, of course.
Okay. Honest to God, truth, man, I think we're going to be ass this year, bro. I think we're going to be bad. And I only say that because, one, we let Paul George walk. One, we let SGA walk for crumbs. Like, losing SGA, that was the start of our downfall. Now, I get it. We got Paul George. The trade that brought Paul George in to pair with Kawhi, I get it. That was the reason why we got rid of SGA. But for me, man, I think that was the bad. That was bad. That was bad that we did that because we leveraged our future. And we leveraged our future bad putting it in the hands of Paul and putting it in the hands of Kawhi because now we're asked out. So now luckily we was able to get and retain James Harden because now he's the system, right? That's what he calls. He's the system. We build around the system. So now he has to step up. And now I think he actually welcomes that challenge because this is what he loves to do. He loves to be the man. He loves to be the focus of the squad. But that doesn't win championships. And we've seen that in Houston. We've seen that in Brooklyn. We've seen that in Philly. We've seen that in three different stops for Harden. So I think this is the fourth one, and I think it's no different than the first three. He's gonna get all his buckets. He's gonna kill. He had 16 assists today, right? He's gonna kill, get all his numbers, and get his stats right. But at the end of the day, that's not that maybe might lead to a playoff berth, 8th seed, play in. I don't know, but that doesn't win championships. So my honest to God truth is we're gonna be bad. I don't think we're gonna be as formidable as we were in the past years, and that's okay because me as a Clipper fan, I'm used to mediocrity from the Clippers. So we can still only go up from here.
I mean, you've had 2 postseasons where you almost made it to the next round, and then you got knocked out by Mavericks and Suns. So, which I feel like there's definitely a rivalry now developing between Clippers and Suns. Like you guys have like some of the tightest games all the time now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they play us pretty good. Them in Dallas for some reason they play us. Luka kills us. Luka like bashes our skull in with that deep three. It's crazy.
Yeah. So were you? How do you feel about James Harden before he became a Clipper? Like, were you excited when he became a Clipper, or were you gonna like?
With Harden, I have to see it because I've seen it in 3 other destinations where he only got to the finals in OKC, but he was paired with 2 Hall of Famers in KD and Russell. So when he's the man, I don't think he can do it. But he can't get it done. He didn't get it done in Houston with CP. When CP was done, he didn't get it done. He didn't get it done in Philly. He didn't, like I said, he didn't get it done in Brooklyn. I have to see it. He has to show me now at this point because there's three different examples where you show me and you didn't show me. So I have to see it now in order for me to like really believe that he's that cornerstone player still, like that he was in Houston. Because time is against all of us. And especially basketball players, their time is limited. So with him, he's not getting any younger, and we're not getting any better.
Yeah.
Especially losing Paul George, and especially when Kawhi doesn't even want to get on the court. So it's like, I don't know what we can do at this point, but just play ball and see where it goes.
That was actually going to be my next question, your thoughts on Kawhi, because they put it up as, like he's a championship level of player, and yet it seems like he's hurt all the time.
Every year. He's hurt. He's been hurt every year since he signed that big-ass contract for us, dog. Kawhi, man, I'm a fan of him, but this is unacceptable, bro.
Do you think the Clippers kind of shot themselves in the foot when they got him in?
Yeah, they shot themselves in both foot, especially leveraging SGA. Once we leveraged SGA and we had to rely on Kawhi, who can barely stay healthy to begin with, as our cornerstone franchise, and we let Paul George go, that's when I knew we was in trouble. Deep trouble. Because we can't rely on Kawhi. He cannot stay healthy, and he's proved it time and time and again. This is not the same Kawhi that won the championship with the Spurs. This is not the same Kawhi that won the championship with the Raptors. He's not the same anymore. And I don't know if it's because of, outside of the court kind of things that is happening in his life, which that can affect anybody. Losing people in his life, people are coming and going out of his life. I understand that can take a big effect on somebody's mental. But man, I feel like it's every year of a different type of injury. Every year where it's like you're complaining about low management. and that's not getting us nowhere, bro.
Well, I think a big thing is that everyone has this idea that if they're a athlete and you see another athlete either as old or older, they try to compare the two as if they're the same, forgetting that everyone's body is different. And some people age a lot quicker than other people.
Super quick.
I mean, one thing I will give respect to LeBron for is he has been able to condition himself very well. I don't like the dude, but I do give him respect for conditioning.
I love Bron. I just hate that he's in a Lakers uniform. That's when, like, bro, what is this? I hate it. Why would you go there? But I get his intention. But yeah, no, LeBron. If Kawhi had the LeBron type of healing effect, or I don't know how you describe it, because he's never on the court.
The conditioning or the body.
It's something wrong. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of disconnect.
And I feel like several teams have that kind of person. So, like, for Clippers, it's Kawhi. For the Nuggets, it's actually Jamal Murray. He's shown that he can be an all-star level, even though he's never actually officially been an all-star, but he can be that. But he's constantly prone to injuries. Right. And then I know Philly loves to tout how amazing Embiid is, but Embiid is hurt like all the time as well. So there's always at least like one teammate, I feel like. And then right now with the Celtics, even they have Porzingis, who seems to be getting hurt all the time. So like, and then what was Levine for the Bulls he's always hurt.
Always, yeah, for sure.
And so then these teams get shot in the foot by like these big ass contracts for these players that are always hurt, and then they can't trade them because no one else wants them because they're damaged goods. So
Adam books, yep.
So what are your thoughts of Russell Westbrook? Were you happy that he was a Clipper, or were you glad to see him leave?
Oh man, I thought he brought it. When he signed with the Clippers, oh man, he was killing from the get go. I was happy with that signing because he stepped up in the playoffs. Even when Kawhi went down, he stepped it up. He stepped up. He did what he needed to do to deball. He did what he needed to do to stay in the league. He did what he needed to do to get another contract from y'all. He did what he needed to do. I have nothing negative to say about Russell. I think Russell killed it. He showed up. He put his hard hat on, and he went to work for us. And he didn't complain. So I nothing but respect, for Russell in this game.
I mean, we still have a lot more to see of him in Nuggets uniform, but so far, if you compare what we've seen so far to how he was with the Clippers, it definitely feels like he was better with the Clippers than he is with the Nuggets right now.
Yeah, but I think it's more so he has to find his way. It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment period for him. Even though this is what his third, fourth team in the last 5 years, I think, something like that. Lakers, Clippers.
It was OKC, Lakers, and
he's been kind of bouncing around. So he has to take in more schemes, more playbooks. So that's an adjustment period. Any ball player would know that. That's to be expected. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys are in good hands with Russ. I think once he starts to pick up the pace as the season goes on, because it's a long season. It's a long season. So I think he'll pick it up. He'll probably start to pick it up probably after All-Star break. I would think that's when he's going to start really turning up. For y'all.
Well, we saw sparks of it in the game against the Celtics in preseason. There was sparks with the Jokić and Russell combination with some lobs and everything that were amazing. So hopefully there's some more of that built up over the season. Obviously, we talked about how it's a new kind of almost different team of Clippers this season versus last season. You guys got two new additions with Derek Jones Jr. and Batum. What's your opinion on those additions? Are you happy or?
I mean, it doesn't move the needle for me. I don't mind. I watched Derek Jones. He played with Dallas last year, so we faced him in the playoffs last year. So he kind of killed us actually. He kind of balled out against us. So I'm not mad at the pick, but I'm not. It's not gonna oh damn, we might be in the playoffs next year because I don't think it's that. He's a solid role player. He's gonna contribute defensive stats. He's gonna kill for us as far as being that person to block a shot or steal. Give me a good steal. Clutch wise, but as far as something that could be very impactful, I don't see it for Derek, and I don't see it for Batum either, because Batum I don't want to say he's boring, but Batum's game is pretty fucking boring, dog. He's boring as hell to watch, but he'll contribute, and I put him in the same boat as Derek. He's that role player who will contribute. He hit a 3 occasionally, he did a steal.
Well, and it is early on in the season, so we still have to see more of these players and new roles and everything. But I have noticed that Batum actually balled out fairly well in the Olympics.
Yes.
When he was playing for France, he was definitely on a different level than he is right now with either the Sixers or Clippers. It's weird. And then the same with Derek Jones Jr. It seemed like him and Luka really had a good connection, and so it'll be interesting if he's able to develop that connection with Harden.
It'll be an adjustment period for him. Same thing with Russell in Denver. I think he's going to have to adjust to Harden playing off the ball, basically probably staying in the corner waiting to shoot a 3 in the corner if he gets the ball. But I think it'll be an adjustment period for him. But I think he'll be good. I think he'll contribute some solid stats for us.
Yeah, for sure. So as a Clippers fan, and or I should say first as a Nuggets fan, growing up with a mediocre team, wanting it to be that kind of Chicago Bulls level Michael Jordan team, it was almost like second nature to have a backup team, and so that became the Bulls. And then now lately, it's been more of the New York Knicks for me. But do you have a backup team as a Clippers fan?
Oh yeah, well, growing up, man, living in the Bay Area, I rooted for the Kings and I actually rooted for the Dubs, the Warriors. But this was because I moved around a lot in the Bay Area. I moved around a lot from Oakland to Sacramento, so I've experienced and watched all of these players while living in the hometowns of these teams. So, I was able to watch closely the Kings. Growing up with watching Chris Webber, Bibby, Peja, Stojakovic, Mitch Richmond, going back further back to Mitch Richmond, him and with the Warriors when he played with the Warriors as well. But yeah, Sacramento and the Warriors were my two teams that I rooted for before coming to Southern California and then taking on the Clippers. That's another team. So people would say, "Oh, you got 3 teams. You're a bandwagon hopper." But when I was rooting for these teams, they were garbage, and nobody was actually paying attention to them. Sacramento ascended during the Sacramento Laker rivalry, but at one point they were terrible. They were a terrible team before Bibby and Chris Webber got there. So when I hopped on these teams, they were terrible. It's kind of like the stock market. When you hop on a stock that's low and it goes up, you ride that wave up. Same thing with sports, bro. Same thing with fandom.
Well, and that's one thing I appreciate about the Knicks is that they're one of those major brands that the league really pushes hard, same as the Celtics and the Lakers. But they're one team that hasn't really owned up to the level of hype that they are being marketed as, and so their kind of combination, especially with Jalen Brunson, is just they've got a really good thing going.
I love his game.
The Brunson burner, man.
Brunson he's a beast. He is a beast, lefty beast. I love him. Love his game.
And he's tough as nails, man, too.
Little dude, super tough. Yeah.
He was playing all of the postseason with a broken hand, still knocking down threes and balling out crazy. Let's break down the game here. So the Lakers beat the Nuggets 109-104. It was a very tight game. We got stats here for the Nuggets. We had Michael Porter Jr. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and was 4 from 3 from field goals, 0 for 6 in 3 points, which is really unusual for him. He only made 1 free throw, and then he had 1 turnover and 2 personal fouls. Aaron Gordon was 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 from 10 from field goal range, 1 from 4 and 3 points, and had 0 turnovers but 2 personal fouls. Then we have Jokić, 41 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 14 for 26 field goals, 7 for 12 and 3 points.
That's
and then he hit 6 for 8 free throws, which should have been 7 for 8. Like there was one there where he definitely messed up and should have just made the bucket, but. And then he had 5 turnovers. He had the most turnovers of the Nuggets, unfortunately. And then he had 2 personal fouls. And then we have our new shooting guard starter of Christian Brown. He had 11 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 4 for 6 from field goal range, 1 three-pointer, and 2 free throws, 1 turnover, and 3 personal fouls. Murray had a good game. I think this today he had 22 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 7 from 14 of field goal range, 3 for 6 on 3 points, 5 for 5 on free throws, 2 turnovers, and 1 personal foul. And if we go over to the Clippers, we have Terrence Mann, with 0 points. He got as many points as you and I did.
Me, yeah.
He 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and he was 0 from 4 in field goal range, 0 for 2 in 3 points, and then he had 2 personal fouls. Derek Jones Jr. had 9 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 for 8 from field goal range, 1 from 4 from 3 points, and then had 3 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. And then you had your man Zubac, who had a double-double, one of 2 players on your team that had double-double. So he had 24 points, 15 rebounds, rebounding maniac tonight, or today, 4 assists, 1 block, 11 from 16 from field goal range, and 2 for 3 on free throws, 3 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. And then we have Powell, who was your main scorer, 37 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 14 from 21 from field goal range, 7 for 11 in 3 points, 2 for 3 in free throws with 1 personal foul. And then Harden, he was the second player for double-double of 23 points, 6 rebounds, 16 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 5 from 11 from field goal range, 1 for 5 from 3-point range, 12 for 13 in free throws, 7 turnovers. He had the most turnovers over anyone in the game tonight, today, and then 5 personal fouls. So he almost fouled out. So just talking about starters, how are we feeling? Because I know with like I said before, the Suns and Clippers game, it was very tight. Now again, your second game against the Nuggets, very tight again. For me, looking at it, compared to how we played against the Thunder, like it was actually kind of a little bit of it. Like it still sucks to lose, but we did play better this game than we did last game. So it's looking better for me, but for you with 2 tight games, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. This game was, they surprised me this game. I'm not going to lie. I thought y'all were going to get us. I thought the Nuggets was going to, the tempo was killing, giving us some fits for a bit. And they just started hitting baskets, man. Harden was spoon feeding cats. Zubac was a beast on the boards. I think him and Jokic, they have like a sibling like rivalry going, something like that. Growing up, I don't know what. I noticed that even when last time they played, Zubac was killing
100%.
Double. So I think Jokic gives him like some added confidence when he plays him to go at him. I guess so. They have a going back and forth type of thing, but. I was surprised. I thought we were going to lose this game. But Norman Powell came through. Norman Powell was a beast. He was scoring baskets. He was putting people in position, stroking 7 threes. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 7 for 11.
Yeah, he was
on fire.
He was on fire, man. I wasn't expecting that. Honestly, I was not expecting that kind of a game from him. He's a solid player, but 7 threes, I was not expecting that. So that was a pleasant surprise. That I'll take it. I'll take that. If he can keep that up consistently, then I can say, okay, I'll be confident in saying we might have a backup scorer with Norman that can carry us to wins, but he has to bring that consistency for me. Norman has to bring that consistency. Zubac has to bring that consistency because he's not going to play against Jokić every night, right? So he has to have that added energy every night consistently. But 2 games in, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Zubac. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Norman Powell. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Harden. Harden's actually playing pretty decent. He's still a cone on the defensive end, but he's still putting people in place to score, putting people in place to win, to succeed. And that's all I asked for from our best players, since we were pretty much short to begin with Kawhi and PG being gone.
Yeah, as we talked about, very prone to injury. So holding the fort.
Man, if Tyronn Lue can shore up that bench, because I think we're going to be having our main issues are going to be on the bench. Because I think I saw Amir Coffey. I think he had like 0 points off the bench.
Yep.
Yeah, man, we need more contributions from our bench. Chris Dunn did his thing though. I like Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn was pretty solid today.
I was just gonna say, like, you could have swapped out Chris Dunn with Terrence Mann and had all your starters make points.
Yes, exactly. If we can get some consistency going on the bench, I think they may have a chance to have a solid season. But Tyronn Lue has his work cut out because the NBA, especially in the West is deep, man. These teams are deep as hell, so you got to bring it every night. Because when you're playing mediocre, like if you're playing mediocre with 0 points, especially if we're getting 0 points from our starter and Terrence Mann, that's not going to cut it. So.
Well, and so the Nuggets, going into this game, the Nuggets and the Clippers were kind of on the same level, that they both lost their first game, which was both a home opener for the teams. Yeah. And so do you feel that there was some more pressure on the Clippers or the Nuggets to win tonight? I feel like the Nuggets had more pressure because it was another home game. Yeah,
that's the second home game in a row that y'all lost, right?
Yeah.
I think the more pressure was on y'all. For us, I don't think there's pressures on us because nobody expects us to be this good. Honestly, I'm being completely bluntly honest because of our 2 best players being out. I don't think people have no type of rooting interest expectations or nor rooting interest for us. I wholeheartedly think that. But for y'all, you guys are coming off of a championship 2 years ago. You guys are coming off of another playoff berth, another 50-win season. You guys have way higher expectations than us. So I would say the pressures are more on you guys.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. And if we talk about the game itself, it was a very weird game. I don't know about you, but I felt it was a very weird game. And I know that even the announcer or the commentators, the analysts were talking about how weird of a game it was. Like a lot of just dumb bonehead plays on both ends. And that also happened with the Nuggets in the Thunder game. And so maybe it's just the start of the season kind of warming up into this regular mindset. It didn't happen last season. So that's kind of where it's like, okay, what's going on here? Because the start of this season is not going as well as the last 2 couple of seasons. So,
the adjustment from some of you guys' role players that are starting to pick up the pace, like Christian Braun, I think that's his name is.
Brown, yeah.
This is an adjustment for him as well. This is his first time as a starter, so he's got to ascend to that role. And we just talked about Russ, how he's got to pick it up on the different. Got to pick it up overall coming off the bench. But I think as the season goes along, I think you guys will be straight. You guys will be good. You guys are too talented. You guys are like a well-oiled machine. Mike Malone has you guys like a well-oiled machine, bro. So I think as the time goes on, it's gonna pick back up because you guys are so experienced and you guys have high chemistry together as it is. So I think as the season goes along, you guys are gonna be good in the long run.
Well, and even looking at his press conference after the game and everything, like he was taking a lot of the blame for not making certain plays and everything. And that's where I really appreciate him as a coach, that he does that. A lot of other coaches will sometimes actually blame the refs. I don't agree with that. Like the refs you can't always count on the refs to be non-biased. Like they're going to make stupid play or calls and everything. So it's like up to you to kind of be better than the refs. But for Malone, his consistent excuse is just exhaustion. And I don't really agree with that a lot of times, because it's like you guys are getting paid way more than the average Joe who would like a break as well and still has to go into work. So it's like, just keep on working on it.
All you can do.
And so, but Christian Brown definitely there's a lot of pressure on him to fill in that KCP role, and I think so far he's actually doing a good job. I mean, last game he had 16 points. He was one of the better shiners of the Nuggets roster. Tonight, I mean, 11 points. He did better than Michael Porter Jr. did, in which Michael Porter Jr. we felt was going to be this is going to be his breakout season. And so far it's been a little sizzle right now. It's not really so much of an explosion. So waiting for that to happen. But, and Aaron Gordon as well. But Aaron Gordon, I was really proud in the second half. I forget what the play was in total, but there was a play similar to in the Thunder game. I don't know if you saw the game against the Thunder, but there was a play where Aaron Gordon threw it. We don't know if it was to CB or to Jamal. Neither one of them caught it. They just stared at the ball as it went down to the backcourt, and SGA zoomed past them, grabbed it, and up for a layup. And so then in this game, it was almost like a similar thing, but on the reverse. And then the Clippers lost the ball, and AG went for it and kept on with the play. And I loved seeing that. Like, it's so frustrating to see your roster just sluggish, and a little bit of that happened in the first half, at least with the Nuggets. They were still a little bit sluggish in the start, and I think there was in the some timeout huddle, Malone finally fired them up and lit a spark under them to finally get ahead. Otherwise, you guys could have easily have crushed us had that trajectory kept on going.
We built up a lead at one point, and of course we let it go. Of course we founded it, and y'all got back in the game after 20 points, because that's what the Clippers do. They just blow leads. But yeah, man, I that was part of the boneheaded plays we were talking about in the question. Like, I noticed we were doing boneheaded plays that got y'all back in the game.
Yeah,
like, little nuances like that. That's like, you got to be consistent more. You got to stay on top of it, or you're going to let your opponent back in the game, and that's case in point happened today.
Yeah, well, and if we look at the summary here, so like the Clippers in the first quarter won 27-19. In the second quarter, the Nuggets actually won in 21-23. And then the third quarter is when third quarter for the Nuggets is usually our Achilles heel. But this game we finally played better, and we did 29-22. And then the last quarter, y'all came back 39-33. So it was kind of like a little seesaw there. So like a lot of what I have written down is just a lot of bad plays. Nuggets not rebounding. Like, that's one of the most frustrating things, is when you don't see the team rebound, get those second chance points. Meanwhile, you guys, the Clippers, are rebounding, getting those second chance points. There was several times where that was happening. I was like, freaking get the ball. Yeah. And then when they, one thing that the Nuggets often do that's frustrating is when they have possession, they're in the offense and they're shooting, but they don't go for their own rebounds, and they just shoot and then head back to the other side. It's like, you could have gotten that had you kept with the play.
Yeah.
What frustrates you the most about the Clippers and those kind of
the lack of consistency, the lack of focus. Like, we were killing in the second quarter. I noticed, like I said, we built up a 20-point lead. We're hitting shots. We were playing sound defense on Jokić specifically before he started to choke us to death in the fourth quarter. But it's just a lack of consistency, lack of focus that. And this has been a year's thing with the Clippers. My problem with the Clippers, because I feel like sometimes we'll build up leads, playing pretty good in spurts, but then we'll just lack focus, and that'll cause us to lose a game. That'll cause us to lose a playoff series, going up 3-2 or going up 2-0, something like that. The lack of focus causes us to lose that, and it just causes overall lack of losses, and it builds up over a period of time. And it pisses you off. And it pisses me off specifically because the Clippers have done that over a consistent period of time of not staying focused consistently. Consistency is all I ask for. That's all I ask for. It's a little bit of consistency in life, and I can't get that from the Clippers. It only comes first.
Do you feel like, because for me, of course, no one wants to lose. But if you're going to lose, at least show some effort in trying to win. And when they don't show effort, that's the most frustrating thing, at least for me. I don't know about you.
Same.
Yeah, same, right? When you just, like, that's kind of how I felt like when they faced the Thunder in their opening season game, was just like the lack of effort, the sluggishness. They weren't even trying. Like, the Thunder wasn't doing their best job that they normally are, but they still managed to pull through. And just like that, just to see like the lack of effort and energy. And so I was glad to see in the second half the Nuggets really fired up and ready to try to win this thing. Like, that's all you can ask for. Like,
all you can ask for, exactly.
And when there's also several things that was frustrating when they have easy buckets that they could have easily have made and they still miss them. Like several times where the Nuggets were wide open and they missed the shot. Or same thing with the Clippers. The Clippers had a couple of times where they were wide open and they missed the shot. A couple of dunks you guys missed.
Oh, fucking Kevin Porter Jr. with that missed dunk. Dog. Yeah. Kevin Porter Jr., we got to step it up, baby. We got to get it together because, he was playing like ass today.
Yeah, like, and Peyton Watson has done that before last season. Like, you get the breakaway, you're in the transition, and then you go for the dunk and you miss the dunk. Like, those are basic things. Like, layups and dunks are basic for you.
Yes.
Like, those are, you must make those. But then, like, leaving 3-pointers open. The thing that frustrates me is I don't care how poorly of a shooter the person is, you never leave them open. You keep on trying to contest the shot. And that's one thing I will give credit to the Celtics for. As much as I hate giving credit to them, they don't care who you are. They're going to contest you no matter what. And I think that's a lot comes from Joe Mazzulla. He definitely, even he's contested shots during the break time and everything. So, but yeah, just that lack of contesting shots and just like watching them shoot it, because it could go in, and then it's on you for not having contested it. What are your takeaways from this game for your Clippers?
Well, if Harden can continue to put people in places to succeed, like put Zubac in place to score easy baskets, put Powell in place to hit a corner three with his drive and penetration and kick, if he can do that consistency and play a little bit of defense, man, I think they can do something. Now, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's going to generate playoff wins, but if they can have the kind of consistency to close the game, how they did today against you guys to get the dub, then I think we can possibly do some things. But if we're going to go right back to how we played against Phoenix, to where we're letting people get off, Durant's getting off on us every which way, it's like we're gonna be in trouble defensively. We're gonna be in trouble defensively if we don't pass that up. And I think it starts with Tyronn Lue. So if Tyronn Lue can get that shored up, and I think we'll have some type of chance each game, because he puts the confidence and the energy into the players, but it's just on the players to follow through and execute. And if we consistently do that throughout this 82 game slate, then I think we'll be probably middle of the pack given the talent that we have in comparison to other Western Conference teams, despite our lack of power. If we can bring that consistent defensive pressure, consistent shooting, if Harden can continue to be a leader, we'll be okay. But it starts from there, though. It starts with Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue can do that. I think we'll be solid.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it is the players who are playing the ball. So Tyronn and Malone can only do so much.
Facts.
It's the players that are on the court playing.
Got to execute the X's and O's, exactly.
And last season, what was it?
How about yourself? Rebuttal back to you. How do you feel about it?
Yeah. Well, right now, looking at how everyone is responding to these games, like, it's kind of frustrating every time to see how immediately people take judgment over the first couple of games and they already have the season figured out. It's like there are 80 some other games left. Like you cannot base the rest of the season on these first couple of games. I mean, if we look back to last season, the Timberwolves actually had a poor start to their season, and they ended up going to the Western Conference Finals. So I think there's still hope. I don't think I don't know if the Nuggets will be able to be in the top 3 this season. It'd be great if they do, but I think they might end up being like a 4 or 5 seed at the end of the season. That's been kind of more or less the talk as well, and I kind of agree with it. Because same as the Clippers, our biggest woes right now is the bench. We have just been struggling with the bench, and we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot with the whole roster issue and like the CBA and all that, like the second apron and stuff. So we to try to get someone who can actually make some movement. I don't know who we could really trade for, and if we really want to trade it, because we're so attached to all of our members that at some point we are going to have to make a difficult call. It's just, are we going to be able to own up to it, or are we going to just continue on this path? And it'll be an interesting future for them for sure. But I think they need energy is the biggest thing right now for them. They're battling energy. Second to energy is the bench. The bench needs to step up, and hopefully Westbrook is able to bring that for the Nuggets. Hopefully Batum is able to bring that for your Clippers. Hopefully. I mean, as we said, he's boring. I mean, he only got 1 point. So
hence the boringness.
So what is up for you? What can people look out for anything with you? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm mainly focused on investing my money, getting my money right, trying to figure out real estate, put that into real estate. But it starts with the stock market for me. Like I'm very into trading. I'm a day trader right now. That's paying the bills, so that's a lot of analysis, watching out for businesses, studying, lots of nerd stuff. I'm a big ass nerd, but yeah, bro, this is mainly the stock market. I'm diving head first into that, and with the goal to be able to fund my films or produce other people's films. Because right now, money is always a barrier within the film industry. Like, if you don't have money, you can't make content. So for me, I'm trying to get the money first, and then put that into my films and put that into my content second. But it starts with the stock market for me. So now I'm just trying to get my chops up, man. Trying to get the money.
Awesome. And where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Dennis2_society. So like Menace to Society, but Dennis to Society, play on words. You can find me on Twitter, same underscore, same at Dennis2_society. Instagram, Twitter. I'm not really on Facebook like that.
Same.
Not on TikTok. I'm a little bit not really on TikTok either, but yeah, just mainly Instagram and Facebook. You guys, I'm sorry, Instagram and Twitter is where you guys can find me.
I kind of made that same move a couple of years ago. Just only Instagram and X, Twitter.
Yeah,
kind of done with the Facebook.
Yeah, too many old people trying to contact me. Too many old and shit. I don't want to talk. I'm playing. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. Congratulations once again. Was hoping to be happy for my Nuggets, but we'll get you next time.
Yeah, it's a long season, but we got three more matchups to do, or 2 more. There's 3 more, 2 more. Okay.
So we're only facing you 3 times this year.
Wow, that's nuts.
Okay. How do you feel about the Intuit Dome? And congratulations on finally having your own arena.
It's about time. Yeah, the Bomber finally came through in the clutch for us. Finally. I haven't had to see it yet. I haven't had the chance to see it yet. I gotta get there. From what I've seen on TV, the little, the fan eye where people are like waving their hands. I saw that in the Phoenix game. It worked in the Phoenix game. People were missing stuff like
the
that.
wall.
The wall.
About the wall? Yeah.
Yeah, the wall. Exactly. The wall. It was that's cool. That's pretty cool.
With the rubber chickens?
Yeah. That's
new tradition.
Right, exactly. Yep. And then when they're throwing the shirts from the
Up above, right?
above. Yeah, that was shit. That was shit.
It definitely looks next level.
So.
And did you see there's a basketball court outside as well for regular people to play?
I did see that. I'm gonna go over there one day and get up some shots for sure.
I gotta get over there too. Maybe we can go to maybe December 1st. We check out the Nuggets Clippers.
I have to make that happen, dog. So.
All right. Well, thanks again, and we'll get you back on to talk about film later on. But awesome.
Sure. Thanks, my dog. Appreciate you bringing me on. Go Clippers. Go Warriors. Go Kings. Go Raiders.
Well, that's it for this episode. I'd like to thank again my guest, D. Hodge, for coming in and breaking down and chatting it up with me. If you do like the episode, please give it a like and subscribe and share it out to your friends and family. And you've been watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports and movies with good vibes. We'll catch you later.